So maybe that's the key is finding something fresh and new to bring to the table that then you can follow up with email and you're covering them every which way. Would that be effective with the rest of you guys?
Only if it pertains to the type of work I do.
Only if it pertains to the type of work you do.
Yeah, he's wastewater. I mean, you got to offer something that's going to work for him.
Which goes back to your don't waste my time if you don't know anything about my company.
Research, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I was going to add something to that too, especially in a bigger company like ours. If the whatever you're interested in, it may not be, I may not be the right person for that message to go to. If somebody comes to me and says, gee, we'd sure like to see how we can sell this product through Wholesale Electric, I'm going to say, you need to get to our salesman and see if they want to sell it, and then come to me and I'll talk to you about how we can work with you. It can work different ways, but again, know who your audience is and what their job is.
Well, in that case, would you hook them up though? In that case, would you guide them to the right salespeople? Or would you just be like, you're wasting my time because I'm not the person to
Depends
talk
on
to?
what their message is, and their message needs to be pretty quick. I mean, the title of the email and the first sentence or two is really important because we all get a ton of emails today. So, which one jumps out at you and says, okay, this one's a little different. Do I want to be a traffic cop? Not exactly.
Right.
That goes back to what I want to say it was Michael said earlier. Do some research on the company first, and if you've got my name, you got it from somewhere,
Yeah. Other questions?
Come
Anyone?
on now. There's this many people in the room and you don't have a question?
Oh, wait, we got a question here. I'm sorry, if you could just say who you are?
Sure. Blake Sexton, Interstate Electric. My question is, from listening to you, you guys have all said, all four of you, that you highly value relationships as you make business decisions. I'm wondering have any of you formalized that, maybe Jim at Wholesale, to where you're doing some vendor scorecarding and try to formalize that so you can help your vendors move forward on some certain areas?
So you're doing a report card?
Do you do report cards for your vendors? Yes, correct.
Everybody looked at me. I don't know if you asked that question to me or not. I'm sorry. I will tell you what we've done, and I've only been with this, like I said, in this position a fairly short time, but just last week I sat down with about half of our buyers and branch managers, and I had a list of questions and all our key suppliers, the manufacturers reps and the manufacturers. And that's what I wanted to hear from them. I wanted to say, okay, what's the good and the bad and the ugly? Is it a formal process? No. I've seen those done before. Would it be good to do? I don't know. I'm not there yet. But at this point, I'm trying to look at, the kind of the top tier and hear what they had to say about them. And the comments were pretty clear and consistent for the most part, from branch to branch about different suppliers, what they were good at, what they weren't good at. Well, they weren't always consistent, but in a lot of cases they were. So have we done it formally? No, but informally, yes. And that's important to us, is, who's calling on us, who's expediting is, done in a timely manner, who gets their quotes back in a timely manner, what they bring to the party, do they just show up or whatever.
For Interstate, we use the standard scorecards that come with our ERP system. They're okay for measuring matrices like shipments on time, all those kind of things. I can tell you my new coming life as I'm learning the Crescent way, that's definitely, they've got that dialed down pretty tight. So, but I'm just learning that.
Michael, what about, I know you haven't chimed in on this, but I know that one of the things that you said this morning in the session was that one of the questions that was most helpful to you from your distributors was, how are we doing for you now? Mm-hmm. Or something along those lines. Can you just, it sort of sounds like the reverse of a report card. It's the distributor being proactive with you and saying, what are we not doing that we could be doing?
That was probably one of the best questions a distributor's ever asked me. Is the first thing he said is like, after he got through his pleasantries, he's like, how are we doing for you? Is there something that we could do better? And to ask that question meant that person really cared about my business. And I felt it was very important. And I don't think that's done enough. Most people come in and you're like, hey, what are you working on? Is there something I can help you with? I get that
Trying to make a sale.
Right. But what can we do better for you? Especially if you know that I've been slacking off on you. If I'm not calling you or even engaging in email, something's up.
Did we answer your question? Okay. How about the rest of you? Other questions? Here's your panel. Let's talk a little bit about training. Training. Just because one of the things that I think from a manufacturer standpoint and also a distributor standpoint that everybody can use because things change so quickly is training. Training your on products, training on services, and training your people. It's a moving target. I mean, what kind of a priority do you put on training, recognizing that there's only 24 hours in a day, Scott, and not everybody's got a bunch of time or whatever. So what's the best way, how valuable is training, and what's the best way for somebody to get you training information? And how often do you want to be trained? On an as-needed basis or quarterly, or what's the best system for you?
Well, training is very important, and especially on new products, new systems, new ways of doing things. A lot of our guys we're a union company, so they're getting trained through the union before they ever go out and become an electrician and work on a job site. But as far as me, myself, I'm always willing to learn, and I want to stay on top of what's the latest and greatest invention that's out there to make it easier for our guys and to get the job done quicker. It's hard to find the time, but like I think we were talking earlier about videos and stuff like that. We can get the information, and then I can get it to the guys in the field and the superintendents. And that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
Yes, I want to chime in on that. Patrick right here, he's with a suppression company. It's got a great, I'd say, what is it, 30-second video that hooks like that. I'm telling you, you got to get the hook to want to know more about that product. He's got an amazing product that I'm sure is going to take off, and it's whether it's YouTube or however you do it.
And you just met him today.
Just met him today, and
he showed you the video right before we started this.
On his phone, and it's an amazing product. And that's what you need. I mean, you got to be able. I'm ADD. He caught me in 30 seconds. So, and I haven't forgot that. So.
But see, this is key because they don't know each other. They met here today. We went to lunch. He came in at 1 o'clock and he said, I want to talk to Michael. And I said, well, he'll be here in a minute. Michael shows up at 1:20. He grabs him. Before any of the rest of you came into this room, he's showing him a 30-second video. Michael's now going, that was amazing. It's 30 seconds, And I will tell you this, my background is marketing, that the word in marketing, and you guys know this, I'm sure you're living this every single day, people don't read anymore. And what they read, they want to read in bullet points. Right, which is why infographics are booming, and video is booming, and Instagram is taking over Facebook and things like that. It's all about pictures, and it's all about fast, and we don't have the attention span. So one of the things that, just a tip that I can give you from a training standpoint is, if you're making a video and putting it on YouTube, you don't want to make a 20-minute video. You want to make a 4-minute video or a 3-minute video. Or if you have 15 minutes of training, then break it up into 5 3-minute videos. Because people will watch a 3-minute video. They will not watch a 20-minute video anymore. It's all about short and sweet. The shorter and sweeter you can make it. I have not heard about a 30-second video, but I'm not the least bit surprised that it's highly effective if it's, if it's powerful and if it's got that good hook. But this is a great case in point of 2 colleagues who didn't even know each other, and now they do, and you were impressed, and he's done his job, and you're doing yours, and that's the way it goes. So I think from a training standpoint, a key takeaway is just keep it short, keep it sweet. The other example I would give you is, it's what I call the USA Today format. USA Today is a terrible, terrible, terrible newspaper, right? Nobody reads USA Today for in-depth coverage of anything. They don't go in-depth. What they are good at, and the reason that they're so good, is they are good at giving you a basic snapshot, a quick snapshot of what is going on regarding the most important news stories in a graphically pleasing format. That's what they're about. And that's why they've been successful, and that's why they're going to continue to be successful, because you can scan it, and in 3 seconds you can figure out what's going on, and they've got the little graph and the little chart and the little, graphically pleasing. So focus on that kind of stuff going forward too, is understand that your customers are increasingly overloaded with information, and any way that you can make it graphically pleasing, bullet points rather than sentences, and quick videos and things like that. People like pictures, people like moving things. So. Other questions? Did you have one, sir? Or are you just scratching your nose, or did you just bid on something? No. Okay. Other questions? All right, we're almost out of time. Closing comments? Okay, I've got one question for you, and sort of one for the general panel, and I would like to know from all of you. If you had one piece of advice to give to your suppliers about how to earn your business, just one. So, and assuming that supplier is not doing any business with you at all. If you had one piece of advice to give to a supplier about how to earn your business, what would it be?
Differentiate yourself.
Differentiate yourself, okay?
Well, that's a tough question for just one answer.
I know.
I would just say make sure that you know my business, like Michael was saying. Make sure you have the right product that you're approaching.
Don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim?
I'm somewhat in agreement, but I definitely make sure that, when you're approaching us, that you know what we're doing and what our market is and how you fit to my business.
Know their market? Know the market?
Somebody that comes to me and is trying to pitch industrial product, I sell a little bit, but I'm not into mines and that kind of thing. So he's wasting their time, just wasted my time.
Okay.
If you're trying to new customers.
Okay. Michael?
If you've done due diligence and you know about who I am as far as what we serve, what kind of products we have to offer, I'm busy, but I'm not busy all the time. So if you come in, you catch me when I'm busy, I will tell you flat out, hey, I'm busy right now. I like what you have. Come back later. Or you can ask, hey, is there a better time I can come back? That's one of the things. First thing I call my GC, I'm like, hey, did I catch you at a bad time? Same deal. If you come in, did I catch you at a bad time? I have a product to show you. It only takes 30 seconds. If it's a bad time, I can come back. I think if you respect my time, I'm going to respect you and ask you back.
Let me ask you this. Is there just quickly, maybe I'm just jaded, but is there a danger if somebody's starting a conversation with you of, am I catching you at a bad time? Is there a danger in it being really easy to kind of go, yeah?
No.
Because it's easy to just put that person off all the time and just go, yes, it's a bad time, even when it's not necessarily a bad time.
That's true. That is true.
I think it can be done with somebody that you have a relationship with and trust. If you're just trying and talking for the first time, you don't want to set yourself up every time and say no.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is, again, this is somebody who's prospecting you. They're prospecting you, and if they start by saying, am I catching you at a bad time, is it easy for you to dismiss them because you don't have a relationship with them?
It could be.
So how do I get past that? Because I want to be respectful of your time, but I don't really know you, and you have no reason to not dismiss me.
Well, no, you got to have 30 seconds to say, if I'm not on the phone, you got 30 seconds to hook me, and then you say, is this a bad time? Can I, or should I come back?
Okay.
But I mean, everybody's got 30 seconds. I mean, you can't tell me that nobody has 30 seconds.
Okay. All right. Other questions? Anything else? Anything at all you'd like to ask them? Yeah.
As a contractor, do you care who your competitors buy from? Just curious, if you know that your competitor is buying from X distributor, you go, I'm not sure if I want to deal with that distributor. No. You don't care about that.
No, as a matter of fact, it can be helpful.
Why can it be helpful?
If it's one of my peers that do the same type of work as me, I know they're going to stock the same type of stuff.
Align yourself with people that just kind of were your main customer, or you don't care.
No, I'm not territorial.
All right. Has this been helpful? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Well, let's give a hand to our panelists because they gave up their afternoon.